Hi guys, it's Cindy with Pups and Crochet. I'm sorry I clicked my last video because the notifications was still coming through and I figured out how to shut it off. So this is part 2. So I went to click the notification off because I'm not sure if you can see it or not, which obviously you can't because I checked it. But it bothered me, and then when I touched it, I flipped it off the camera. So my fault. This phone is touchy, everything touchy on it. Well, Sadie sent me this beautiful picture yesterday of Savannah. And I'm like, oh my God, I blew it up. And I just could see her face with no hair because her hair is really dark. Now, when Callahan was born, his hair was really kind of light. And now it's getting a little darker. But when you do this, it's Callahan's face. I said, oh my God, she looks just like Callahan. And I said, but you zoom it out, she looks more like Sadie and Callahan mixed together. So they were really cute. So if you can, because I did click that one off by accident, leave the comment on that video or on this video, whichever, if you like the ideas that I came up with that were in my sleep. And then if you want to join in on the challenge, make sure to check out that video and you can get all the rules, what you have to do, and then email it to me, a picture of it. And I just thought that was fun. And then, you know, along the lines, we'll do giveaways and stuff like that. But I thought that would be an interesting thing to do a challenge. And then when you see, do you accept the challenge, you'll know it's a challenge thing of something else that I came up with to try and make. So, let's see. I gotta tell you a happy story. This is what I was gonna tell you, but I did part 2. So, you know, there's, when you go out nowadays, it's like even when I'm walking Peanut and it's been like crazy weather out here. I mean, one day it's raining, then it's snowing, then it's hot, then it's windy, then it's cold. I don't know to put my snow boots away or bring my summer stuff out. I don't know what to do because Robert's like, well, are you going to move your boots? And I'm like, no, because my sister and his mom and that just got hit with, what, 2 more inches of snow. And now it's cloudy, and so I think we're going to get a lot of rain today. But I'll let you know when my back starts hurting, and I know because I'm getting punished from my grandma for laughing at her. Yeah. My grandma used to say, oh, my shoulder, it's going to thunderstorm. Oh, my back, it's going to rain a lot. And I'd laugh at her and tell her, you're crazy. You're crazy. Yeah, well, she's getting me back. She's definitely getting me back. It's like the mother's curse when they tell you you're going to have a kid just like you. You do. It is true. It is the mother's curse. And they make sure that you go through what they went through. And you're like, I'm sorry, Mom. But it's true. Okay, so some happy news. Even like what I started to tell you is you like go outside and it's warm. People have their windows open and you just hear them constantly yelling at each other about something. Get the garbage out. Why aren't you listening to me? What are you doing? I was like, why is everybody so angry? It just seems like everybody's so angry anymore. And you need some good news. So I'm going to tell you some happy news. Okay, Robert's mom and dad are both retired. His dad's on disability, Social Security. His mom's on her, she retired. And so they are basically living on fixed income, just like a lot of us are. And So the other day they were having a problem with their car. Tires, of course, you know. And they took it into the shop and they looked and they said, we just want to get a tire for this end, the front end or whatever. And the guy's like, well, look, all your tires are bad. So it would be worse for me to put a new tire on there and the other 3 be bad, because then you're going to just ruin that tire, which is true. I mean, trust me, me and Robert have gone through enough tires. And
they told him it was going to cost $500.
Yeah, and that it was going to cost $500 for the 4 tires. And they were sitting there, and his mom's just like, we don't have that to spend on tires. And so she said, give us a few minutes, let's go talk. So they went out and were talking, and they came back in about 10 minutes later, and the guy's like, okay, here's your keys. Your car's all ready. And she's like, you just put the tire on for the front? And he's like, no, the guy that was in front of you that just left, he paid for all 4 of your tires. They're brand new, and you are ready to go. His mom just broke, I'm ready to cry just listening to it. But his mom just broke down crying. His dad was like in shock. This guy paid almost $500 as a gift for them. Just because. And the only thing that he told the kid at the counter is that they could pass it on. They don't have to spend that much. Just pay it forward to something. And I was so I mean, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it, because that is the sweetest thing ever. Ever. And I had to share that, because I'm like, that is like beyond going what somebody would do. And a complete stranger, to see 2 people that are on a budget having a hard time with 4 tires bad, trying to get just 1, and he spent it out of his pocket so that they would be safe. And it killed me inside. And just, I mean, I have got literally goosebumps down my legs telling you this story, because I just think it is the most sweetest thing. Didn't leave his name. I mean, I'm sure they had it, but he didn't want them to know. He waited till they were gone, and, you know, till he left. And that's all he asked, is even if it's a few dollars, just pay it forward to somebody. I mean, where do you find generosity like that? I mean, I love my pet friends on my Facebook, because we do for each other when we lose one of our fur babies. We get a group together, and one person takes charge, and they pick out the prizes or presents. And like, if you watch some of my videos before, when I lost our monkey, they sent us this beautiful wind chime with the puppy's prayer on it. They sent me waiting by the door with monkey, was in my car, and she was waiting for me to come out of the store, and they took that picture that I had shared with them. And we had met on People's Pets. It used to be a website when it first .com started coming out everywhere. And I'm like, what the heck is this .com? So finally we got a computer so I could find out what this .com stuff was. You know, because, I mean, we had flip phones. We didn't text or anything then. So I get a computer and I go on there. Well, I met up with this group through People's Pets. We all just started writing each other. Like every night when the kids went to bed, I was writing to them. And a couple times Sadie got up and went on there and started typing to them. And they said, does your mommy know you're out? She's like, no. She just like, N-O-O-O-O-O-O-O. You know, and not realizing that when I go back on the computer, I can see what she wrote. And, you know, she'd go sneak back in the bed. But I met them, and then people's pets closed down, which I thought was the stupidest thing they could have done, because they were getting so many people together all across everywhere. I mean, we had people from different countries, different states, everything. So the ones that we really talked to the most, that really were on there like full time, my friend Maxine took everybody and made a Yahoo group, or no, a Facebook group. Sorry, a Facebook group, so that we could all stay in touch still. So when one of us loses a fur baby, we go on that group, go in that group, and then they put a card in there with everybody's name. We send, and they sent me that little picture of monkey in the glass, and you turn the light on and it follows you, it's like a 3D. And when you're going through that, etch glass, yeah. And when you're going through that, I mean, me and Robert were so touched by that, and all my friends on YouTube that have sent stuff for us. Erin, I can't even remember everybody off the top of my head, but I know Erin from Crafty Kitty. She had this key ring made, and it's hanging up there. I couldn't put my wind chime outside because I didn't want it to break, or the squirrels to get it, or somebody to steal it, which is bad. But I got it hanging up there where my table used to be, because now when the vents come on for the air or the heat, it rings, and I'm just like, hi, monkey. It makes me feel better. And it's just such a beautiful thing. And then that just started me going down like memory lane, and thinking about all you guys, how great you guys all are. And with Neva and Neva, Trisha, Renee, myself, we got Lisa, we got oh my goodness, everybody's in the group. But we are the Yarnivores, and Neva's husband went through and picked a secret sister for each of us, so we each have a secret sister. And when it comes to a holiday or a birthday, or just because, we go on and we each have our own little Amazon list, and we go on there and we will send each other a gift. And it's just signed your secret sister. And so nobody knows who they're matched up with, and, which is really cool. And we don't tell. It's a thing. I mean, I think it's such a great thing. And, when people are having a harder time, you can't send something out. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, even you get a card from somebody, just to know that they're thinking of you is great. And I love you guys all. I love all you guys. And, you have made this so easy to jump into something I didn't even know what we were doing. And Robert kind of joined in with me as we're doing it, because we had no idea what we were doing. And our first video is still out there in YouTube land, somewhere floating around. We can't find it. It disappeared. But, yeah, it was a very beautiful thing. And so I started thinking about all those little things. And then I had another thing that popped in my head. Now, I've already been through 15 surgeries. I've been in the hospitals since I was little. I lived in Loyola because I couldn't stop bleeding. They didn't know why. Because back in the 70s, they didn't really realize what was going on. And then by the time they checked everything, the swelling had gone down, so they couldn't tell it was my tonsils doing it. But as time, so my sister never, ever had to go to the hospital, except for one time. We were going to the carnival. getting ready to go to the carnival that they had at the Cermak Plaza. But we had to finish our chore sweeping the stairs. So she jumped down and we had our jelly shoes on. And if you don't know what jelly shoes are, then you're too young to understand the 80s. I'm sorry. But we had our jellies on. She jumped down, and when she did, a screw went through her heel. And we had to take her to the hospital, so we missed the carnival for that day. And they had to literally cut her shoe off and unscrew the screw. Luckily, it did not hit the bone. It just barely nicked it. But so she's never been to a hospital. So anyway, a second. Anyway, so my point was that as we got older, a couple years ago, she had to go because she was having so much pain. I said, Vicky, it's your gallbladder. I'm telling you, I went through the same thing. You need to go in. And so she goes, gets checked, and they said, yes, you need to go right now. Well, by the time she finally went, it was already infected and infected outside of it. So when they took the gallbladder out, because they had to before it did rupture, they took it out, the infection spread. And she was back in. They sent her home the next day. The day after that, she was just bent over. They took her back in, had to put her on IVs. So she's freaking out. I visited her, stayed with her as long as I could, because I'm back and forth taking Robert to work, then going down to Loyola, and that's when we live back home. And then, taking care of the puppies and stuff and things. And so I had called the hospital, because the hospital is by us. If you call and talk to the chaplain, they will bring you up a prayer blanket if you ask them to bring a prayer blanket to somebody that's in the hospital. And I tried to do that with Tap Mama, and then with Susan, with Amanda from Tap Mama, and then Susan with Party On with Yarn. They were both in the hospital, and I tried to have them sent a prayer blanket, but their hospitals in New York and in Louisiana didn't do that. So what it is it's flannel, and the nuns and the priests, they cut the ends of them and they tie the knots in them, and they say a prayer over each knot. So it's supposed to be that you're wrapped in prayers, which I think is so beautiful. And on one of my hospital stays, I've got a polka dot, and I love polka dots, but they didn't know that. But I got sent a polka dot prayer blanket from someone. I still don't know who. And it was in my car, and somebody stole it. So I said, well, obviously somebody needed more prayers than I did. And I don't hold a grudge or whatever. Well, my sister was back in the hospital, scared to death. IVs everywhere and stuff. So after I left, I called the chaplain, and I asked him if he could send a prayer blanket up to her, because I was going to be late coming back to see her that night. And he said, oh, that's such a wonderful thing that you're doing. And I said, well, she's scared, and I'm going to be late. And because Robert's hours were changing, and then I had to take Corey, because his car was in the shop. I had to take him to work, so I was running back and forth, and I was going to be late. And I said I would just give her mine, but somebody stole it out of my car. So I guess they needed it. But I said, if you could please send her one. And I told him the room. He goes, well, would you like me to sit and talk to her? And I said, that would be great if you could. So he goes there, and then I show up, late, a couple hours later than I was supposed to. And I showed up, and she said, she was all cuddled up to her prayer blanket, and she was crying. And I said, are you okay? Are you in pain? And she's like, no, but this was the sweetest thing ever. And thank you. And he sat and talked with me for a long time. And I was like, aw. And she goes, but he left you this. And he had a prayer blanket in a bow with a little note on it, and it said, "I'm sorry that yours was stolen, and I hope this can replace it. I brought it up specially for you." And guess what? It was polka dots. How did he know? How did he know? And I asked Vicky, "Did you ask him?" She said, "No, he came with both of them." How did he know? Crazy, right? And it still gets to me. It still gets to me to this day, and I still have it. It is still with me everywhere I go. I love my blanket. And my sister still has hers. So, you know, it's just wonderful to hear some good news. So I thought I would share that with you. And I'm sorry that I keep messing up with this phone, but I'm still learning on it. It's a lot more than what my other phone was. It was just flip this, done, good, we're good to go. This one, you have to shut off all notifications. You have to, you know, and it's touchy. Oh, it's so touchy. And, you know, I'm computer stupid. I really am. It's like they ought to put iPhones for dummies because, you know, I'm confused. But me and Robert have been talking about things that we are going to start doing on our channel, different things. And then later on today, I'm going to post a video because we're going to do it after I'm finished with this one. He had got me 2 dinosaur eggs that I had mentioned to you. We're each going to take a turn and crack them open, but we're going to have to hold the phone as we do it. And so that way he can crack his. And he's like, they're yours. I bought them. I'm like, but it's fun for each of us to crack one. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm like, it's fun for each of us to crack one. You know, we'll take turns. We'll share. But whatever comes out is mine. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. And, but anyway, so that's what I wanted to tell you all. Hugs and puppy kisses, prayers if you need them. Please say an extra prayer for Tap Mama. She's having surgery today, and her Amanda's her name. And also for Susan with Party On With Yarn. She's very sick. And she's not feeling herself. And, you know, if you could just pop over there and give her a big kiss and hugs, tell her that you wish her well, and go over to Amanda and wish her well. And I'm waiting to hear from her sons to text me to let me know she's out. So I will let you go on that note. Hugs and puppy kisses, prayers if you need them. And please remember, adopt, don't shop. There are just way too many babies that are out there that do not have a home. Okay? And I will be back with our dinosaur eggs so you can see it. And then I will get to this pen. It is, I keep calling it a glue stick, but it's not. It's a Skywriter 3D. Okay, so I'm going to get to this. I know I've been telling you I would, but I will. Okay, I will let you go for now. I hope that this brings some happiness to your day because it has for me. I love you guys. Bye.